Okay, hey there. It's Spry Frog here. I'm doing another little patch video for the patch coming out uh, November 6th, 2025, 7 a.m. Central European Time, so 2 a.m. Eastern for me. Um, just gonna do a quick overview, read out loud for anybody who likes to listen instead of reading. So let's get into it. Upcoming patch and maintenance planned for November 6th at 7 a.m. Fellows, thank you all for jumping into Fellowship during our first ever Halloween event, and as always, thanks for your feedback. We wanted to give you all a heads up that Fellowship will be going into scheduled weekly maintenance tomorrow, November 6th at 7 a.m. Central European Time, so we can go out with a major patch. Major patch is exciting. A lot of changes. I did peek at this a little earlier, so yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. Reminder, weekly maintenance is going to be at this time every Thursday. So let's go down a little bit. Patch notes for the November 6, 2025 patch. General header. Fixed an issue causing enemies to sometimes desync on their patrol paths, making them invisible to players until they suddenly appeared on top of them. I didn't run into this, but I'm glad that they've addressed it. This should resolve the most common situations that cause enemies to become invisible. Fixed an issue where targeted ground abilities would sometimes cause the aiming circle to disappear or get centered on your character when the cursor is pointing at a wall or steep slope. I also didn't run into this. Maybe that's because I play Smartcast, but who knows. Moving on. Progression. Matchmaking item level requirement adjustments. We have adjusted the item level required to matchmake in Adept, Champion, and Paragon leagues. The biggest change was made to Adept to smooth out the jump in difficulty that comes with the added enemy and boss mechanics. While our goal was and is for Adept to be a step up in challenge and complexity, the league ended up being more punishing towards mistakes than what we were aiming for. We will be listening to your feedback on this change and looking at how it affects the overall player experience. So pretty much they've increased the item level it would take to do your matchmaking in all the leagues after Contender, before Eternal. So minimum item level in Adept is now 80. It was 60. In Champion it's 130. It was 120. And in Paragon it's 190. It was 180. Some item fixes. Fixed an item with the Dark Prophecy set bonus proc. That's the Harder to Zari set, so that it no longer triggers on non-hero actions such as emotes and interacting with campfires. That's good. The Ancient Wardstone relic now provides high haste and low expertise. The Chalice mana item essentially now provides spirit and haste. Fixed an issue where Mako's Crusader long cloak was incorrectly named for two different items. Okay. Fixed an issue where Vigor's lamellar helm was incorrectly set as a pair of gloves. Interesting. Fixed various uncommon and rare items that had their rarity set incorrectly. Fixed an issue where vendor gear was always set to common rarity. That gear now correctly reflects the league they are assigned to. Okay. Fixed various item typos. And next header is weapons. Fated Strike. Hit delay was reduced to 0.15 seconds, was zero point 0.3 seconds when used in melee range. Okay, so usually I think this like lets you charge, but now if you're in melee range, it just will probably just activate automatically. The latent resurgence trait healing has been increased by 50%. I don't know exactly which one that is, so we'll see really quick if I can boot the game up. And fixed an issue where Repository of Light was not properly removed from other players whenever the source died. Big stuff here. Heroes. So there's a few hero changes. Looks like Helena, Mako, SYLVIE, Vigor, Tarek, and Ardio. So Valerion and Mara are out of this one, but that's okay. Helena. Helena's health gain from stamina was increased by 10%, so straight buff right there for effective HP. Hold the line tooltip was updated to reflect the recent hotfix. This is from last Friday. So last Friday they pushed the change that hold the line causes her toughness to not be reduced while the absorb from empowered shield slam is active on her. So now it's just reflected in the tooltip. This is a change that's been live for a week. The absorb effect from empowered shield slam has been renamed to empowered shield slam barrier, and it was hold the line. So on your buffs you'll see that. The bleed from sweeping strike now reduces all damage. What? Oh, that's crazy. Hold on. The bleed from sweeping strikes now reduces all damage dealt by afflicted enemies by 10% for its duration. So, just continuing to lead into uh, Helena's like just reduction thing. That's crazy. Awesome. Mako, the sibling of Earth from Mako's Twin Soul Bulwark now has health equal to Mako's max health, increased by 2% for all of her stats. This is kind of like Helena. I think Helena has a similar mechanic where her toughness is affected by all of her other stats. So that's great. Great buff for Mako right there. Shattering Obelisk Drape now accumulates 10% of all damage it takes and pulses it out as damage on intervals was 18%. So this is a nerf. Damage needed to be toned down considering the rather large increase to the sibling Earth's health, and overall the dealing more damage now when taking all the above changes into account. So the developer note is saying that like this is a buff to the damage. Necklace of Tectonic Impact now increases the damage of the final hit of Earth Fist Barrage by another 75% when consuming a second charge. Was 50%. Tip stated 60%. The tooltip for Twin Souls Bulwark has been updated to show the resulting max health of the sibling. Oh, nice. And it has the secondary stat scaling on it too. Nice. Tooltip update from last hotfix. Mako's description for her spirit stat has been updated to reflect that the spirit armor effect she gains upon triggering a spirit refund now grants 30% more armor. Was 50%. This is tooltip. This is all just from last week, so it's just tooltip changes. Mako's Stone Shield has been updated to match the last hotfix. Earth Fist Barrage and Lashing Storm Kick tooltips now correctly. Yeah. So these are all from last week. I'm just briefly looking at this and like huge SYLVIE buffs here. The healing of Flutter Call Heal has been increased by 25%. The healing of Flutter Call Restore Life has been increased by 25%. Heart Bloom now accumulates 12% of all Flutterfly healing, was 15%. Flower Power now causes Heart Bloom to accumulate 8% of all Flutterfly healing, was 10%. SYLVIE's baseline healing from Flutterflies were a bit lower than intended overall. Heart Bloom was toned down slightly to keep its power similar to before. Okay. Enfeebling Root Sap duration was increased to 10 seconds, was 6 seconds, so that really great. Really great, actually, when you think about some of the monsters that we run into. Furious Tantrum in Uruk Markets, from the Minotaur and from the boss. Titanic Slam. What are some other ones? I mean, like, just helps with Icy Death on Wormheart. This is great. Shields applied by Safe Haven and Ironleaf Ward when talented into Natural Protector have been increased by 200%. And then Natural Protector Shield is now also applied to players that walk into Safe Haven after it has been placed. This only works once per player per cast of Safe Haven. I did notice this as I've been like trying to get my SYLVIE through Adept, is that like if everybody's not grouped when you put this down, they don't all get the shield, but now that's not the case. And the developer note here is Natural Protector as a 3-point talent was underperforming, so great that they've addressed this. I don't know how much the actual values on this is, but it's nice to make like a 3-point talent like good, considering the investment. Life Petal now has 2 charges and gains cooldown acceleration from your haste. Like this has got to be an insane buff. Like Life Petal with like Pedal to the Metal and the there's the 2 talents where it's like every Nettle Bolt ticks a thing of Life Petal healing, and then pink Flutterflies give you instant cast Nettle Bolts occasionally. Like that's got to be insane. Nettle Bolt damage was increased by 70%. What? Prickly Vines damage was increased by 20%? Holy moly. Sprouting Nettles procs per minute was reduced to 2.0, was 4.0, but now increases the critical strike chance of Nettle Bolt by 400%, and Symbiosis now increases Prickly Vines damage by 12% for each player that has a pink Flutterfly active on them. Wasn't that before? Or it was 8%. I don't know why they didn't include that. I think it was 8%. So, I mean, honestly, like huge SYLVIE buffs here. Vigor. Soulbrand damage has been increased by 20%. Soulbrand is ready. We love that. Dawnbreaker Orb damage has been increased by 35%. Radiant Blast damage and healing has been increased by 15%, so like big damage increases for Vigor. Fixed an issue with Grand Design talent, causing Rune of Renewal when overcharged to only increase the direct healing on targets. To only increase the direct healing by 100% on targets that already had Rune of Renewal active, when it should be increasing the direct healing by 200%. So Really great fix there. Pretty much you're missing out on 100% AoE heal. 100% more on your AoE heal, huh? Tooltip updated for Levitate. Movement abilities do not benefit from cooldown acceleration based on health. The text has been removed. The ability has not been changed. Harmonizing refractions. Legendary necklace now stacks up to 2 times to mitigate situations where 2 procs in a row would cause the first proc to be overwritten and effectively lost. So nice little damage buff for Vigor. A little bit of a throughput fix for him as well. Tarek, Heavy Strike can no longer be spammed to trigger proc effects. Now only triggers proc effects once the Heavy Strike starts its swing. I'm not sure of much of any kind of like Tarek tech or anything that they were doing, but okay, I can see why like this probably needed to get changed. The Bloodied Brass Necklace Legendary now deals 450% of Facebreaker's damage, was 150%. Dealt over 24 seconds was 18 seconds. So damage increase and longer duration. So I don't know if the longer duration is good because something would have to live that long, but interesting. The bleed from Bloody Brass Necklace can no longer critically strike and no longer double dips and damage percent bonuses. Okay, alright. Ruined Haru Necklace of Spoils had strength on it. Now it only has stamina like all necklaces. Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's the same for everybody else or if that's Tarek specific. Probably Tarek specific. And then Ardios fixed an issue causing the engulfing flames applied by Pyromania to not generate cinders. Oh, wow. So nice little fix for Ardios. That should help. And then some UI changes. New active ability timers added. In our continued work on active ability timers, the following abilities now show a yellow frame to indicate the remaining duration of its effect. If you remember last week when they pushed the patch, on several hero abilities, once you cast them, there would be like a yellow frame around it to show you its active duration. Some examples include SYLVIE's Life Petal and Ilarion's Starfall Volley. So you cast it, and now you get like this yellow border that goes around it that ticks all the way down and lets you know like how long it's going. So now that effect has been added to Sanctuary, which is the Sin Binding Stone effect. Bloodright Drums, the Burger, some weapon abilities. Oh, interesting here. Oh, very interesting. Okay, Repository of Light. That's the Vigor Cloak, I believe. Cyril's Wrath, Cyril's Aegis. I think those are tank. That might be Helena only weapons. I'm not sure. Voidbringer's Touch. That's nice. Helena, she has it now on Shields Up, Iron Wall, and Siegebreaker. Mako has it on Twin Souls, Army of One. Rhyme has it on Frost Ward. Oh, that's nice. It's on our defensives now. Rhyme has it on Frost Ward, Ice Blitz, Flight of Navir, Winter's Blessing, Wrath of Winter. Ardios has it on Wildfire and Flame Ward. Ilarion has it on Skystrider's Supremacy, Fervent Supremacy, Skystrider's Grace, Event Horizon, and Pathfinder's Resilience. Nice. Mara has it on Maiden of Death, Veil of Shadows, Matriarch Macabre, I don't know. Tarek has it on Thundercall, Unbreakable Will, Focused Wrath, Raging Tempest. Vigor has it on Levitate, Lightshaper's Ward, Runic Proliferation, and Avatar of Light. And SYLVIE has it on Hidden Trail, Ironleaf Ward, Enfeebling Root Sap, and Fluttercall Jubilee. So awesome. Just like visual clarity to the gameplay. I think that's really good. And then let's see, dungeons, a few dungeon fixes here. Sailor's Abyss fixed an issue with Hollowed Corsairs, causing them to play their voice over too often. And Wraithtide Vault fixed an issue with the Tide Witches, causing the Sunken Gale visuals to be rotated and move in the wrong direction for players sometimes. Stormwatch fixed an issue causing Warlord Brog to return to full health when entering the second phase. Brog now starts the second phase with the same health as at the end of the first phase. Interesting. I'm not. Was this happening? I know when you fight him on the bridge, you take him down to 80%. So are they saying now that like he will be at 80%? That's interesting. All right, cool. Well, that's all the patch notes. There was something I wanted to look at really quick, and I'm gonna see if I can remember it before I sign this off, but I might not. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyways, thanks for coming in, checking this out. I am still streaming every day. We're going into our third reset, good luck to all your gamers and your trims that you get. And I look forward to seeing you guys out there. Catch you next time.